Wave. No, it's okay. Yeah, go. I was going to take a video. Yeah, there you go. Nice. There we go, that way. Me and the kids out here made a racetrack. It's fun. So yeah, that's how I have fun now. The kids come and knock on my door, and I feel bad because I don't answer all the time. I answer sometimes, but I don't answer all the time because there are times when I'm missing you guys, and quite frankly, being around kids hurts. It hurts. So I avoid it. Hey, girls. Hey. Miss you. June 20th. June 20th, 2025. I would be lying to you if I didn't say I was thinking about Mom today. Today's our anniversary. June 20th, 2009 is when we got married. It's not actually, well, I mean, October 17th is really like our day. You can ask Mom about that one. She probably won't tell you though. I don't know. So, but yeah, that's us. Let's see. Jeez, I look old. These are the two little girls that had come and drawn "Welcome to the Neighborhood" on the front porch. Rebecca and Michaela, and then this little boy. I still have yet to learn his name. I tell you, I detach. I love hanging out with them. Oh, and this little one here. She's hilarious. she I can't describe it, but Muffin, she reminds me of you. She's got a little sass. You know, ask Mom about this one. Me and Mom are in bed one day. This is like, Muffin, you're like probably 6. The phone rings, the landline rings downstairs. I know I've told you this story. I know, but I love it. Me and Mom are in bed, and we hear you answer the telephone. Hello, Gara residents. And then you go, what did you do? He goes, hello, Gara resident. And it's like, uh-huh. What's your name? It was a telemarketer, you know. It's a telemarketer asking you to speak, you know, with your parents. Uh-huh. Then you go, what's your name? Then silence. And then you said it again. I said, what's your name? Oh, you are not having any of their nonsense. You're like, I know your game. It's the same kind of thing with this little one here. She is very smart beyond her years. And she just has this look of, I'm on to you. So, fun times. Oh, what's going on? I just got back from another one of those classes. I went to my second class. We'll get back to that. We'll get back to that. I'm in a little bit of a mood because this therapist sat in, female, and oh yeah, hold on. I have to look like I'm smart. Hold on. There. Now I'm smart. See, I know what I'm doing now. I've taken my online courses and I know what I'm doing because I've read it in the books. These people are just a disaster and destroying our society. We'll get back to it. I didn't want to, because I thought of something. I don't know if you can see it. Can you see it? 4 years it took me, more than 4 years. It's a picture of you guys. It was the airplane. It was a picture of Jackson Hole, Wyoming when I was there. I thought it was so beautiful that I just take a picture. But, you guys are in here 24/7. Never stops. And in here. And so to be missing you like that, I didn't have any pictures of you guys up. Because seeing pictures of you was literally painful. Like excruciatingly painful. Not because I didn't want to see you, but because seeing you hurt. Because I couldn't be with you. I wanted to hold you. I wanted to hug you. I wanted to give you a kiss and tell you I love you. It's... the healing has started to happen because quite frankly, I'm fine. I've come to the realization that it wasn't just me. That's the way it was for the longest time. I'm like, I've caused all of this. Yeah, no. And that goes back to the class that I was just in. We'll get back to that. So I was finally able to get a picture of you. Here, if you can't see it, here I'll pull it up. There was a choice between two. Going through the pictures to actually pick that picture. Glad the camera wasn't rolling for that one. Oof. Crying like a baby. But a good cry. A good cry. But we did photo shoots. You guys know. We did photo shoots every few months. This was Christmas of 2017. I think it was 2017. I can tell you right now. Yep, Christmas of 2017. So there was that picture that I liked, or this one, and this is the one I went with. That's the one. You guys, Monkey, you have that perfect head tilt. Muffin, you've got that gleam. Look at the gleam in your eyes. It's just, and the little feet. So, the healing has finally started, and I can actually start to see pictures of you guys again and watch videos regularly. I could do it before occasionally, but then it was just a damn mess. So, which, by the way, I want to show you something. So AI is making its triumphant debut here with the human race, and I decided this is my Facebook profile picture. Is it going to show it to me? It's one of my favorite pictures of us. I remember taking that picture exactly when it was and what we were doing. But I was curious. I'm like, what can AI do? And so, check this out. Where did it go? Oh, yeah. I was down in Nassau. Totally off topic, I know. But they had this pool that it was indoor and outdoor. It's genius. Why don't they do that more often? I mean, I guess they kind of did it, what's the name of that place? Villa Sport. There was kind of an in and out there. Oh yeah, Muffin, I had a Coke. What city was that in? That was in Tampa. New York. Oh, here we go. So I had AI. I told it, make the girls wave at me. That's from a still picture. And it got your little hands right. Monkey, it got your teeth and your smile right. Oh, dear God. And it even got my handsomeness perfectly correct. Look at that. It's amazing. My first experience with AI. Yeah. So, at the class today, this person who's read about communication in a book a few times and put on a pair of glasses because she's now a therapist. I'm going to go ahead and say it. She has no idea what she's talking about. No idea whatsoever. And what's funny is I could see her distress because her life is not going the way that she was hoping that it would go. I don't mean to laugh, but it's like, why are you putting on this show like you know what you're doing? Just say you don't know what you're doing. I do it all the time. I say I don't know what I'm doing. I have no idea what the hell I'm doing. I'm just trying my best. I know it works for me. So we get into this discussion of communication. And she goes right down the list of the bullet points that she's read in her books and her online courses. And she talks about passive communication. She talks about aggressive communication, passive-aggressive communication, assertive communication, all that stuff, right? You know, and all of those are valid. Those are valid. Like, it's not valid to communicate that way, but it is valid that those are methods of communication. Those are ways that people communicate. Some are effective, some are not. Mostly, just assertive communication is your best bet. Passive-aggressive, not so much. Passive-aggressive is, that sarcasm. Aggressive is yelling, screaming. Passive is not really saying anything. And then the assertive is, like for me, one thing that I can't tolerate anymore is lies. I was going to try and think of a fancy way to say that, but lies and deception, even people just living in a freaking fantasy, I can't tolerate that anymore. I don't have the ability. I've been screwed over too many times from people who want to spin reality. So for me to communicate properly, I would say something to the effect, I don't want to say, well, guess you can't tell me the truth. Passive aggressive. Tell me the freaking truth. Aggressive. Not good. Passive is, well, I don't even know how to do it. But it's just that dejected kind of, I've given up getting my desires. But assertive. You are going to assert. Now, on the surface, it sounds like, oh, he's being assertive. No, well, that's a good thing. You are asserting your needs, wants, and desires. And so, to be assertive and say what I need, I would say, hey, listen, we gotta have a talk. I'm feeling like I'm not getting the truth here. And what I did there was I made an I statement. Because you don't want to say, you are not telling me the truth. That's an accusation. You can provide facts. Facts are not accusations. Those are different. And a lot of people don't get this. If I say, you are not telling me the truth, that's an accusation. I am accusing you of not telling me the truth. However, if I say, hey, you told me that you didn't go out on Thursday night and you went out, that's a fact. Like that's a statement of reality. People will hear that and hear an accusation. They will spin that. Some people who are defensive. Hold on. Spent the week in the Bahamas. My lips are chapped. There are people out there. The blanket term is narcissist, and I hate that term. I hate it. I don't like it one bit. Because it's a blanket term. The term narcissist is kind of used in general for people who don't have empathy. They don't have the ability to empathize and connect with other human beings. For me, that's sociopathic or psychopathic. It's you don't have the ability to connect. Anyway, you can provide statements of fact. Hey, we need to have an uncomfortable conversation here. I don't feel like I'm getting the truth. Now, if somebody takes that and immediately goes on the defensive, are you saying that I'm lying to you? Okay, hold on. What was it? Hold on. I don't appreciate being called a liar. Let me put on my glasses. I'm a victim. You're abusive. If you provide them statements of facts and they start spinning it, this was what I was trying to articulate to this therapist who didn't quite get it. Because you can communicate all day, all month, all year long. And if the person you are communicating with has no intention of giving you what you want or what you need, the communication is pointless. I couldn't quite convey that. And what really concerned me, I'm in a room of all men who have been accused of domestic violence. And then I hear what they've done, and it's gross. But it's gross in a way that some of them, at least, have been spun into domestically violent. Some of them actually have. Yeah. And they admit to it. One guy actually fully admitted, hey, I started beating my wife, and I'm here to get better. Bravo, sir. I commend you for being able to admit that. Fix it. Don't do that shit. But that's what happens when somebody tries to communicate and they get nothing in response. Men will not leave. Most men. I've learned to leave. Get out. Get out immediately. That was loud. But it's important. Women are more prone to being able to, I'm out. I'm getting out. And that's a good thing in some respects. Not always, but some respects. But men will try and try and try and try, and they will lose their minds. And that's what I hear from all these men. And they're not getting their needs met. They're not getting their wants met. And then they become vindictive. Eventually, it will get to a point where the man will just... And this, I'm picking men because I was in a room with men. This happens with women too, where they will become vindictive. And bad things happen. All because the person doing the communicating is talking to a stone wall. There's nothing being received except defensiveness, victim mentality, and just a desire to paint you, the communicator, as the bad person. So I said to this therapist, I said, okay, all of those are that's great information. That's wonderful information. But I believe that these men know how to communicate. Meanwhile, all these men have, shut down. They're down, not looking at anything. They're not engaging with the therapist. And I see it. They're not engaging. They're done communicating. They don't want to communicate anymore because they've been shot down at every turn. And if there are women watching this right now and go, oh, those poor men, that's exactly the problem. So I said, okay, all of those are valid statements with regard to effective communication. But if I may ask you, Miss Therapist, what would you do in the case where you've communicated effectively and properly and your needs and wants are still not being desired, or being met, excuse me? Her response, this therapist with her online courses complete, when I said, what do you do? Who's at my, oh God, it's not the kids. Please don't be at the kids. Don't be the kids. No, it's just a car. Look at how ridiculous I look. This therapist. Hey, what do you do if you've communicated as best you can and your needs and wants are still not being met? Well, I would say that you've probably not communicated as well as you think you have. So it's still on me, according to this woman. Even though I've tried and done everything I can to communicate effectively, her response is that it's still my fault and I have not communicated as well as I think I have. At no point in this woman's thought process did it occur to her that maybe the person I'm communicating with has no intention of giving me what I want. It was her knee-jerk reaction to put it back on all the men. And what was interesting, like I said, she started, because the men started talking about ghosting women. The topic of dating came up. And she had a visceral reaction to that. She's been ghosted by a few people. When the term ghosting came up, I saw her lean back, cross her arms, and get just a little bit upset. Just a touch. Why is this happening? Why does this keep happening where men just keep ghosting women? That's what she said. Why does this keep happening? It had clearly struck a nerve with her. And it didn't cross her mind that maybe, just maybe, she's the problem. She no doubt has failed relationships in the past and is getting ghosted now and is saying, well, you're not communicating as well as you think. It's you. Not putting them back on. Screw that. And that's what these men are being told. And all of them, there's like 15 of them in the room, and all of them, when the topic of avoiding relationships came up, they responded to that. They responded very much to that. Yeah, one guy said, the only way to make sure this doesn't happen again is to stay away from women. That's where we're at now. I can show you countless videos, countless, of men saying, I'm done, I'm out, screw this. Find one. Let's just see if I can find one.
I want to look as young as I.
No. No. Single guys are not hanging. Whatever. Not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. There's some videos here that. Here, do yourself a favor. No, don't do yourself a favor. Don't do yourself a favor. Oh my God. But the reality is, Google this. Google women regretting divorce versus men regretting divorce. You Google women regretting divorce and hundreds of videos come up. Google the term men regretting divorce. Nothing. They're like, oh God, thank God, I'm out. Not going back into that mess. And then women are, where are all the men? Why do they keep ghosting me? Because of this. Because you guys can't take accountability and you have to say, well, it's probably you. You're not communicating effectively. Oh, okay, well then I'm just going to give up. I tell you this so you don't go down the same rabbit hole that these women do. It's a psychological disorder to think it must be the men. Everybody should cater to me. It must be the men who are the problem. Anyway, that's that. So, this class is going to be difficult because I look at it in a new light. When I first started going to these classes 4 years ago, okay, let's learn. And what I learned was it's all women teaching them, always. And it's always the man's fault. The women don't need to make any changes whatsoever. And this is according to therapists. Then we ran into it with your first reintegration therapist, the glasses. The second reintegration therapist, all my fault. The CLR with her glasses, all my fault. It's a psychological disorder. And the more, that's why I said the healing process has started. Because I'm like, oh, okay, I've actually worked on myself, and these women are still freaking insane trying to blame everything on me. Yeah, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to play this game. Don't go down that rabbit hole. It's okay to say you've screwed up. Hey, I've messed up. I got to fix this. The reality is, unfortunately, that nobody will tell that to women. Nobody will say, hey, you screwed up. They will just sit there and straight lie. Where is it? Oh, for crying out loud. You see something and then it disappears.
People don't tell women the truth these days. Men get told the truth all the time. Women have no problem telling a man, I don't want an average man. It happens every day on my show. TLC said they don't want no scrubs, and we have no problem telling average men, you ain't crap. But if I just happen to have the nerve to agree with the woman that says she's average, then I'm Satan. I think that's interesting.
It's not interesting, it's disappointing. All right, man, we don't need to do all that. Okay, rant over. But I'll finish up with this. I don't like seeing these men just told that they are the problem all the time, constantly. That's one hell of a coincidence. it bothers me because it destroys the world not only for them, but for women too. You guys are going to go out into the world and want to find a partner. And there's not going to be anybody available because the men have checked out. The men have gone, nope, not doing this. Anyway, I'm looking in the background right now and I see the plants getting a little concerned. Grace, you got a fungus. That Grace, right there, that one. The cactus. Monkey, or no. Monkey and Muffin. The two plants. Muffin, you're doing great. You're growing like crazy. Monkey, gosh bless America. I've turned into that parent. You guys. Monkey, Muffin. The cactus. Monkey is I started seeing all these white spots on the cactus. I'm like, uh-oh, what's this about? And it started to wither. It was a fungus, apparently. So I had the little leaves, what do you call them on a cactus? But the arms, started to wither and fall off. And I'm like, oh no. So pulled it out, cut off the root, and pulled off all the leaves with the fungus and then replanted. And so that's why you're by the window right now over there, both you guys. During the day, I open up the curtain. You get some sunlight. I got the grow light going. Hopefully you guys are good. We're a little concerned about that. But what's interesting is it's like a daily reminder to let things be. Because what do I want to do? Of course, what do I want to do? I want to take water and pour it in there and take plant food things and put them in there. Well, that's where the actual problem came from. I was overwatering both of you guys. And Muffin, you handled it okay. Monkey, you got a fungus. So we're trying to get rid of that fungus. That's that. Where are we at? We're not 33 minutes in. That's not possible. Oh, it took me a while to start the camera. What else is going on? What else? Let's look at the calendar. Let's look at the old calendar and see what's going on. Oh, I found out I can have a beard for work. So, well, another perk of the job. So I grew that out. It's a little itchy. It's all itchy to start. Calendar. Ooh, I'm going to St. Bart's next week. Going to St. Bart's. I spend all this time down in the Caribbean and Florida. And I'm finding all of these cool places to go. I'm really looking forward to these 4 years passing. And then I can take you guys. I'm really looking forward to that. But the downside of it is, while I'm there, I had to apologize to my first officer. There were some things that happened. Some things. Great guy. Like a genuinely great human being who admits his faults regularly. But he's engaged. He's going to give marriage a shot. And he cares about other people. He saw me go down like a bad path because of something else that occurred. And I love him because he stepped in and he goes, "Hey dude, like you're not behaving like you." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm dealing with this crap." And he goes, if I can make a suggestion, I've dealt with that kind of stuff too, and it's best just to cut it off. Cut it off immediately. And I just went, thank you. Thank you very much. Because it was the exact same thing I'm talking about as far as communicating to a brick wall. And not going to get what I wanted. What I wanted was being spun. What I wanted was being thrown in my face. Past vulnerability was being thrown in my face. And at no point was accountability occurring. And he was like, this is the conversation that he and I had. And he goes, yeah, dude, just best to get out. And I knew that. But the thing about people like me and probably people like you, you guys had the same thing as far as empathy. We don't want to believe people are certain people are the way that they are. We don't want to believe it. We meet them and we're like, you can't be like this. There's no way. This is not possible. You must have remorse. You must do things for other people. You must take accountability. And we're in disbelief when we run into that. So we stick around. We stick around way longer than we should. And I thanked him for that. But later on, I met one of our passengers was named Grace. And we welcomed them aboard and we're getting ready to go take off. And the name Grace was, she didn't look like you or anything like that. It was just the name. And it messed me up. And I started falling behind in the cockpit, in the flight deck. I started falling behind. And I'm just sitting there thinking about you, Monkey. I'm thinking about you too, Muffin. And I ended up missing something that was fairly important. And he caught me again. And was like, hey, is everything okay? And that's when I finally told him, hey, here's what's going on. I haven't seen my little girls in 4 years, other than a couple times where they were in pain, and that pain sticks with me. And I told him, listen, man, every time you see me, I'm in the most amount of pain you can possibly imagine. There's nothing worse you can do to somebody than take their kids from them. Literally nothing. And women know this, and that's why they do it. So I said to him, look, I'm sorry, and I hope you can forgive me, and I'm going to do my best to get past this. Just know that when this happens, that's what's going on with me. Vulnerability. I showed him vulnerability. And I know that it'll never be thrown back in my face with this guy. But it's those kinds of relationships that we need to seek out, where I can communicate with him and say, hey, here's what's going on. And he responds back in a effective, empathetic, sympathetic, human-like way. It pains me that not everybody's capable of doing that. But anyway, all right. We're like 35 minutes in, and I've been ranting. Please know, trying to do effective communication here, that the annoyance you saw today, you're seeing today, has nothing to do with mom or any of that nonsense. Today's our anniversary. Miss her to death. I wish I could give her a call or, anyway. The annoyance comes from people who just refuse to make this world a better place. They're completely consumed with themselves. They're completely consumed with people who don't matter one bit. They will go and take surveys of random people to see what the consensus is. I'll leave that alone. The annoyance is it comes from an absolute lack of accountability, while also those people saying, "You're not being accountable. Let me put on my glasses. I'm going to go to the judge. The judge is going to help me. We're going to get protection orders." Those kinds of people. So, no. You guys, love you to death. Mom, love mom to death. There's forgiveness, but there's still annoyance that it's still going on. You know? Does that make sense? Like, I understand why you're doing it, and you need to stop. So that goes for everybody. Like, one thing I think about, and I know I already said I'm going to wrap it up a few times. I dealt with somebody for a long time. This person got pregnant. Very early age. That marriage failed. They got pregnant again. That marriage failed. Many failed relationships. Out partying. Just no regard for the children. A desire for attention at every single turn. Loved ones dying. And then this person using the death of those loved ones as a means to get attention. And then finally telling me that I'm the problem. That's your biological grandmother who did all those things. Your biological grandmother just has no remorse for any single thing that she's done ever. She literally told her brother to kill himself, and he did. And then, once he did, she went to organize the memorial. She put a picture of him on the wall. Why? Well, she wanted the attention. See, I am the one organizing this memorial. She didn't want to admit what she had actually done to him. She put the picture on the wall. Why? It's so the world could see her putting a picture up. Oh, you must have loved your brother. Oh, you must have loved your boyfriend who jumped off a bridge. Death following this person everywhere. What I did as the son was try and appease this person because I was desperate for love from this person. It's my mother. I was desperate for love. So I went down this path of trying to appease her and never calling her out until finally it was time to call her out. And as soon as I did, guess who the bad guy was? And she runs around to the family doing every single thing she can. I'm an alcoholic. I'm unemployed. I stole $300,000. She will go around telling the world how bad I am. And the funny thing is, God keeps presenting me with that problem. The exact same problem. So that I can learn. Don't deal with that. So, for you guys, if you guys run into that, I know you'll want to help those people, but you can't. You just can't. It's a true mental, psychological disorder. And my heart goes out to those people, but you can't do it. You just can't help them. Unfortunately, or fortunately, the only one who can help them is God. Unfortunately, these people have no connection with God. So that's the shitty part. All right, guys. I've got some yard work to do. I got some projects that I'm doing. I'm working on my model again. My USS Constellation. Very excited about that. I'm putting lights in it. Yay. It's the little things that excite me. All right, guys. I love you very much. Go out. You love one another like I love you. And remember, what's the definition of love? It's giving our internal energy, our life energy, to other people and not expecting anything in return. It's nice to get it in return, but we don't do it so that we can get something in return. If you don't get it back, though, in any way, go watch the podcast on fake money, fake love. Watch that one. All right, guys, I love you.